Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys at Magic. This is Hunter and Steven. Say what up, Steven.
What up, Steven?
We are Shane and David list today. Look at us we're switching it up, getting crazy.
Well, they wanted to play Call of Duty, so.
I guess so. But we did get some spoilers today. They did show some more things today from the streams. It is the Magic 30th event. So we've been getting stuff all weekend. Good batch today. So before we start this video, I just want to remind everyone to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. You're missing out on cool content if you're not subscribed. So let's jump straight into it. This first card, Soul Partition. Soul Partition is 1 and a white for an instant. It says exile target non-land permanent. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast. Steven, what do we think, man?
You don't want to ask David or Shane?
No, just you.
Oh, yeah. This is great.
I think this is really good. I don't think it will see play in EDH. You're not playing this over like a Swords to Plowshares or Path to Exile, obviously.
I think this gives you a little bit more room. You know, I mean, like at the end of the day, like, yeah, you have the 2 white removals, and this doesn't technically remove, but I still do think that this is pretty solid.
Definitely disrupts your opponent. And that's why I think it's really good in Standard. Because right now in Standard, with this card, mono white like taxes, that's going to be a deck, and that's going to be nuts. You already have Thalia in Standard, and you have Anointed Peacemaker, which looks at someone's hand. You can name a card, and that spell costs 2 extra to cast. Just,
so here's a question, though.
What's up?
I think if it works the way I'm thinking, then this will see play in EDH, because a spell cast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast. So if you exile their commander, they send it to the command zone. That's an extra 2 already. And then when they play it again, do they have to pay the extra 2? So now it's 4?
No. So for as long as that card remains exiled, if they put it back in the command zone, that stipulation is not there.
Still good.
Yeah, it is like if you have Dranith Magistrate on the field and you do that to something, then they just can't play that card.
True. Can't play things other than from their hand.
So yeah, this could go in a stacks deck in EDH, I guess. Would be interesting. But I don't know if it fits. It could be just like something more budget friendly. I don't know. It seems good though.
I definitely enjoy it.
I'm excited to play it in Standard myself.
Yeah, you and your Standard.
Next up, we have a new equipment. This is Tranmogrant's Crown. Tranmogrant's Crown is 2 generic mana for an artifact equipment. It says equipped creature gets +2/+0, and whenever equipped creature dies, draw a card. Equipped cost of 2 or 1 black.
I mean, this is whatever.
David was saying it's very much like a Skull Clamp.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, I get where he's coming from with it. This is, and I haven't said it in a while in a video, so I just want to kind of go back to it. This is very meh.
Very meh. I mean, giving something a little extra power makes people want to kill it, and when it dies, you get to draw a card. It's interesting. The alternate equip costs are cool, either 2 or 1 black.
Yeah, I do enjoy the alternate equip cost. I also don't enjoy the alternate equip cost, just because if you are going to be bringing this into an EDH format, you know, you have to kind of like put this in a deck with swamps. But I mean, I guess at the end of the day, that's really my only complaint. I guess it's not terrible.
I mean, put this in Necron Dynasties, it fits perfect.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
We had a comment the other day that said all these new cards are going all into Necron Dynasty because they're artifact themed. They're artifact heavy sets. So pretty cool synergy there. But as far as this as a card, I think it's okay.
So would you say it's meh?
I'm not gonna say meh. That's your thing, but it is okay for me.
It's basically meh.
Let's move on to another artifact. This is the Stone Brain. The Stone Brain is 2 generic mana for a legendary artifact. You can pay 2 and tap it, exile the Stone Brain, choose a card name, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name, and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand. This way, activate only as a sorcery. Obviously, this is not very good in EDH because you can only name 1 card. It's only going to have 1 version of the card throughout their entire deck. But as far as standard goes, this is backbreaking.
I will agree and disagree. I agree with the backbreaking and standard. I also will say I disagree to your EDH standpoint on it, because this would be fun if you're just playing in the playgroup with your friends and you know they just added a cool new card that they really wanted to play, and you play this and don't let them play it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm looking at this like, at most, this is going to come down. Like, you could play this on turn 4 and activate it right away. You can absolutely destroy someone in standard, getting rid of their Titan of Industry or anything they can recur. Like, just get rid of a crazy card like oh, I just lost it. What's one of the despairs? Is it Invoke Despair?
Yeah, Invoke Despair is the 4 black that basically makes them, you lose 2 life and then you draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah, you can get rid of the Invoke Despair, or
I mean, really any of the
white
invokes,
Invoke.
man.
Yeah.
All the invokes are kind of shitty. They all have their place. But nah, dude, I completely agree with you. I think this in standard is going to be just game breaking. Like, I mean, I can't even imagine seeing this hit the field, and well, actually, no, I don't play standard, so I guess I can't.
Like this card and the first card we talked about, this is another kind of taxing thing. This one just gets rid of things completely.
I do like the fact that, I mean, at least like if they have it in their hand, they can draw. But I mean, at the end of the day, like if you're getting rid of probably one of their biggest win cons, like could you imagine playing this with the new mono blue deck that's out there, with the Hottie Jin or whatever?
Boom, Hottie Jin's gone.
I mean, like what else are they doing?
They're just like, ah! Boom, all your favorite counter is gone. This is a 4 of. I'd run 4 of these.
100%.
Another legendary, but you're getting rid of them, so doesn't matter. Stone Brain, I think, is an excellent card. Next up, we have Hurkyl's Final Meditation. Hurkyl's Final Meditation is 4 and 3 blue for an instant that says, as long as it's not your turn, this spell costs 3 more to cast. And return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. End the turn. This is 10 mana to do a Cyclonic Rift to yourself.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel. I mean, this is cool, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, why would you want to get rid of everything on your side of the board? You know what I mean? Like, and then if you're just like that out of the game, and you play this on your turn, you're still spending 7 mana.
Yeah, if it's your turn, you're ending your own turn, and you're getting rid of all your stuff. It's weird, man.
I mean, I love it. I mean, I think you're kind of bringing Cyclonic Rift back to standard, I guess. But at the end of the day, it's just this is a little too much.
It's way too expensive. I mean, it definitely hurts, let's say, the token player the most.
Oh yeah,
you're absolutely ruining the token player. But I don't know, man. It is crazy.
Yeah, I'm not terribly high on this, and like I don't know. 10 mana, and then you get rid of all your shit. Like, at what point in the game are you sitting on 10 mana openly? On you know, I don't know, man. Like I don't see this getting run at all. I think this is going to be a bulk rare that costs 10 to 15 cents, and some jank player is going to put this in their deck. Like,
yeah, those of you watching, tell us why this card's good. Maybe we're just not seeing it. I don't know. I mean, I get the end of turn. Like, that's awesome. You just shut down the stack, if there was ever a stack. But for 10 mana, if it's not your turn, that's so much.
Yeah, there are so many end turn effects in EDH that I don't think that this is necessary. Never in my life have I had 10 mana that I was just like, you know what I want to do with this? I want to bring everything that I just used that other 10 mana for back to my hand.
Yeah. It's interesting. All right. Hurkyl's Final Meditation. Weird card, but it is part of the story spotlight, so it's pretty cool for the story standpoint. Next up, we have a legendary creature. This is Drafna, founder of Nat-Lam. Drafna, founder of Nat-Lam, is 1 and a blue for a 2/1 legendary creature, human artificer advisor. You can pay 1 and a blue to return target artifact you control to its owner's hand, or you could pay 3 and tap it, copy target artifact spell you control.
This is cool.
It's a pretty good ability, that second one.
Second one's great.
Copying your artifacts. It's nothing to scoff at.
So I think this card kind of takes me back to the first spoiler that we went over with Urza, Prince of Krug. Obviously, you get access to white with him, so 2 colorless, a white and a blue for him, where this is just 1 and a blue. Whereas the Urza card, you have to pay 6 to create a copy. This is you pay 3. Granted, you do have to tap this, but there are so many ways to untap. So I think with this, it's a little bit more broken in my mind. So I would rather run something like this, just because this is 2 mana rather than 4. I don't know. I think this would be a really cool card to work around.
Oh, absolutely. I think this is an all-star. But I will not talk about it as far as a commander standpoint quite yet, because I have my feelings on it. We'll get to it when we do our commander grades video.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah. But I do think this is a really, really good card. I'll just leave it at that. Moving on, we have another legendary creature. This is Tawnos, the Toymaker. Tawnos, the Toymaker, is 3, a green and a blue for a 3/5 legendary creature, human artificer. It says whenever you cast a beast or birds creature spell, you may copy it, except the copy is an artifact in addition to its other types. Kind of got a beast bird tribal thing going on here.
Yeah, I guess it's like a shittier Volo.
I mean, yeah. Beast and birds, baby. Make some copies.
I mean, this is cool. I mean, I guess it's, copy deck, token copy, call it a day.
As we've seen, everything's all about the artifacts.
I don't know. This card, it's cool. I like it, but I think it's stupid.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Beasts and birds. Birds and beasts. Tawnos the Toymaker. You're making toys out of beasts and birds. Somebody tell me the lore here. I mean, his flavor text is, don't thank me, thank nature for its wondrous designs. So he's just...
Do you think when his parents sat him down, they were just like, all right, Tawnos, it's time to talk about the beasts and the birds?
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. And then he decided to make them.
He's like, wow, Mom, Dad, that was a cool conversation. I'm going to make my own.
Moving on to a mythic. This is Skitterbeam Battalion. Skitterbeam Battalion is 9 generic mana for a 4/4 artifact creature construct. It has trample and haste. And it says whenever a Skitterbeam Battalion enters the battlefield, if you cast it, create 2 tokens that are copies of it. Or you can pay its prototype. It means you can pay the alternate cost, which is 3 and 2 red, and it comes in as a 2/2 with all of the same text.
I mean, 5 mana for 3 2/2s with trample and haste.
Seems pretty good, right? 5 mana for 6 damage.
Seems pretty good.
Goes in a mono red hasty deck. Yeah.
I mean, I guess 9 mana for 12 isn't bad either.
9 mana for 12. Trample hasters. Yeah.
And again, like I've said before, I just, anytime I play standard, I never get to the point where if I have 10 or 11 mana, the game's usually way over by then,
Super over. I don't know. I think Skitterbeam Battalion, 9 mana for 3 4/4s isn't probably going to happen too often from a standard standpoint. But that prototype might see some play in mono red decks.
Yeah, I think this is a little aggressive to be a mythic, in my opinion.
So far, the prototypes we've seen so far have been only mythics.
Yeah, I mean, cool mechanic. I mean, if they're just like designating the fact that they're mythics because they're prototypes or whatever, I mean, it's a cool. But at the same time, like, I still think they need to look at these creatures or cards that they're printing for it and just like, it's probably a rare, you know?
Yeah, they can't all be bangers though, man. Like you said earlier, bulk.
I know,
Bulk mythics are a thing. It's an
which is awful
unfortunate
to
thing.
hear.
Yep. This next card is Tocasia's Welcome. Tocasia's Welcome is 2 and a white for an enchantment. It says whenever one or more creatures with mana value 3 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. It's a very
All right,
familiar
Hunter.
text there.
Hunter, I want you to go ahead and flash a card on the screen in 3, 2, 1. Boom! You guys should be seeing Welcoming Vampire right now,
Just like that, huh?
just like that.
Yeah, I mean, this basically is Welcoming Vampire, right? Minus the fact that it's an enchantment, so it's a little harder to deal with than a creature. And it says mana value 3 or less, Welcoming Vampire said power 2 or less. So, kind of good. There's a lot more flexibility with this enchantment than the Welcoming Vampire.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Card draw wins games. So being able to draw cards, even by just casting creatures or making token copies at end steps or doing what's the there's a card right now in standard that flashes in 2/1/1s, right?
Comes in as a 1/1 and flashes in a 1/1. Enters the
Oh,
ring.
okay. Because it's an actual creature, right?
Yeah, creature comes in as a 1/1 and it makes a 1/1.
Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely ways, and it's white too, which is perfect for this deck. So I think I don't know, man. I think this is going to be really solid. I'll definitely see this. I
Does only
definitely
trigger
think this will
once,
see a
though.
ton of play. I mean, yeah, but that's the whole point of Flash. You know what I mean? You play it at their end step, you get that card draw, and then you draw on your turn.
The only downside is it is a 3 mana. So, I mean, you have to debate on what enchantment you want more. Do you want this or Wedding Announcement?
Why not both?
Could do both. Wedding Announcement would trigger this.
Yeah.
I don't know. At some point, you can't have too many enchantments. You gotta have some creatures that do damage.
I don't know, man. You seen those guys that play the enchantment deck on standard right now? Like, dude, that's nuts. Like the binding that's in that deck, the confinement circle, like they have like every single one in there, dude. It's awful.
Yeah, it does suck. But yeah, it's a pretty good enchantment. I like it. This next one is Clay Champion. Clay Champion is X and 4 generic mana for a 2/2 artifact construct. It says Clay Champion enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it for each 2 green spent to cast it. And whenever Clay Champion enters the battlefield, choose up to 2 other target creatures you control. For each 2 white spent to cast Clay Champion, put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. So essentially, you don't even need to pay the X. You could just pay green, 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 which is 4 green. Comes in as an 8/8 for 4.
I mean, I'm trying to. We've done this before where we have issues like reading through the card and trying to figure out where the bad's at.
The bad is the white part. I think I don't think that's really important. Like if you spent 4 white mana, you get 2 other creatures that get a 1/1 on them.
I think the funny thing about this card is I really thought David was going to hate this card, but after talking to him, I know he's not here, but he did tell me that he was a massive fan of this card.
He loves Clay Champion, huh?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, man, I don't really see David play a lot of green white, but I think since this card came out, I think he's going to start playing it.
Seems unlikely, based on what he really told us, because he just thinks it's meh, like you.
No, see, I know when things are meh. This is not a meh.
Yeah, the only problem is the mono green deck that's in standard right now is with Defiler Vigor, and that only triggers when you cast green permanents. This is not green, unfortunately. I mean, it
I
could go
mean,
in a
true.
green deck, but just the Defiler of Vigor does not trigger.
I don't know. I think altogether this is pretty solid.
Yeah, not too bad. I like it. This next card is Kayla's Reconstruction. Kayla's Reconstruction is X and 3 white for a sorcery. It says look at the top 7 cards of your library, put up to X artifacts and or creature cards with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the Shane reaction and the David reaction.
Okay, hit me with them.
All right, I'm gonna give you David first.
Uh-huh.
This card's not good. There's a lot of whiff potential. Not a big fan of this.
All right, and Shane's.
Yeah, and then Shane's reaction is basically, well, David, I understand you're talking about the whiff potential, but you just got to build around the deck. Just build around the card. All you got to do is put a bunch of X creatures that are 3 or less, and artifacts that are 3 or less. You're done. Easy. Build around the deck.
Tell you what, if you are low to the ground, if you're running this in a low to the ground deck, and you just pay 5 mana, looking at the top 7 to grab 2 things and put them on the field for free, seems decent.
I just feel like there's a lot of card draw in white now, whereas before there really wasn't. And I just think that I understand this card. I'm just not a big fan of look at the top 7. I really wish that it was, look at the top X cards and then put up to X artifact or creature cards. I think with just that little change, this card could have been like a big winner for me.
I don't know, man. Are you spending... If you're looking at top X cards on this card, you're spending a lot of mana.
I mean, I understand, but at the same time, if I'm spending X and I can put X onto the battlefield that's 3 or less, and I've built the deck low to the ground, I'm basically paying 10 mana for all these creatures,
You're paying 10 mana to look at the top 7 still.
No, I'm saying what I'm saying is if it wasn't the top 7.
Okay.
I'm saying if this card was better than it is.
If you say so. I still think this is a pretty solid card. Even paying 6 mana to look at the top 7 and put 3 on the field. That seems pretty good.
I just don't really like the whiff potential here.
All right, David. Moving on to the final creature, something everyone has been waiting for. This is Ashnod Flesh Mechanist. Ashnod Flesh Mechanist is 1 black mana for a 1/1 legendary creature human artificer. Has Death Touch. It says whenever Ashnod Flesh Mechanist attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, create a tapped Power Stone token. It also has an ability where you can pay 5 and exile a creature card from your graveyard to create a tapped 3/3 colorless zombie artifact creature token. I am underwhelmed by Ashnod.
Yeah, I was really excited. I was, because I think I saw something about a leak about them having an Ashnod card, and I'm really underwhelmed.
It's sad because Ashnod is a massive person in Magic's history, and when we get it, they're throwing the Power Stone mechanic that they just kind of introduced onto this card. And you have to exile a creature card to make a 3/3 that comes in tapped. You're sacrificing a creature to make a tapped Power Stone. You have to attack to even activate that, and it's only a 1/1. I get that it's Death Touch, but man.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of things they could have done better here.
It hurts.
It hurts a lot.
Yeah, Ashnod, why have you forsaken? But David did say, quote by David, no matter what Ashnod says, I will create a deck surrounding her.
When was this quote?
He's been saying it all along.
I don't know if he'll keep that quote.
I think he will. I kind of discussed this with him before. I said, you said it. And he said, I know. Kind of sad, but it still sounded like he's going to do it.
Well,
So,
I think after watching,
deck tech,
yeah, I think after watching all the deck techs that David has put out and the decks that David has created for the, the upgrades and stuff like that, I think a lot of people that watch the channel know that it's probably going to be a pretty fun one to watch, regardless of anything.
I know I said it earlier that I wasn't going to join you, but I will say it. This card is meh.
Welcome to the club, man.
And to wrap up this video, they did show off some new blueprint cards. We got Altar of Dementia, Aetherflux Reservoir, and Quicksilver Amulet as the 3 shown off today. What do you think of
I
these
mean,
cards?
2 absolute bangers, bro.
Aetherflux Reservoir is my favorite.
I mean, if we're talking about the blueprint, I think hands down, I would probably say the Altar of Dementia.
Good one.
But close second is definitely Aetherflux Reservoir. I've never seen like the inside, and I think that's super cool to see that little side art of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 3 absolutely amazing reprints.
Yeah, I'm excited for these reprints. They're really printing some good ones that, price-wise, have been pretty consistently going up. So, good on you, Wizards, for doing something right for change.
Yeah, I mean, Quicksilver Amulet, 4 for 4. Put a creature card onto the battlefield. Ooh.
Yep, used to be a staple in EDH. Not so much anymore, but hey, maybe the reprint will get people back into it. But that is going to do it for us today. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Go down in the description. You'll find the links to our Instagram, our Twitter, and our TikTok. Follow us on those too. We are only talking about the rares and mythics, but if you wanted to see all the spoilers, we do post them on our Instagram. So yeah, really give that one a like or a follow. And until the next video, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
And if you made it this far, post down in the comments below and let Shane and David know they're lame. Bye.